Hello friends, welcome to the course on C programming. In the chapter of arrays and string, we are continuing with our last two videos, and in this video we are going to see string, which is nothing but a special array of characters. So let us first understand how do we declare a character, how do we declare a string. First, we declare a character like this: character, then choice, and equal to. If we want to initialize, we will be giving a value in single quote. So character, choice, y. So y is the value of the variable choice, and if it is a single character, we will be specifying in single quote, and later on, if it is a string, if there are multiple characters, then we'll be specifying in double quotes. So single character single quote, multiple characters double quote. This is another way of initializing a character variable. Character gender, this is just a declaration of variable gender as character data type, and gender equal to female, f. So f is a single character, that's why we are using single quote. So choice and gender are variable, y and f are values of choice and gender respectively, and we know that a character holds needs 1 byte each. So 1 byte is the size of choice variable and 1 byte is the size of gender variable. Now let us see how do we make use of multiple characters. So for that, for multiple characters, we will be using character array. So now over here we have an array of 10 elements. So we have already seen in our last two videos that array can be declared using the square brackets, and the number which is written inside the square bracket is nothing but the size of array. So there are 10 characters array. That means name is a character array having 10 elements starting from 0. So name 0, name 1, name 2, all the way up to name 9. And how do I initialize them? So supposing we have Pradeep as a name. So Pradeep contains 6 characters, P, R, A, D, I, P. So 0th element, name 0 is P, name 1 is R, name 2 is A, then D, I, P. This can even be written as character name 10 is equal to Pradeep. So if we are dealing with individual character, we'll be specifying them in single quote, and if we are dealing with entire string, then we can put the entire string in double quote. These two are same thing. These are two different ways to represent a character array. Now when we have character name 10, that means we have name 0 to name 9, total 10 elements, all elements of size 1 byte each, and name 0 contains P, R, A, D, I, P. So name 0 to name 5, total 6 elements contain P, R, A, D, I, P. Now this is something similar to our integer array that we have seen in our previous videos. Now in case of string, there is a special thing that we need to understand is an extra character /0, or we call it a null character, is added automatically after the end of the string. Again I repeat, an extra character which is nothing but a null character /0 is added automatically at the end of the string. So after P, R, A, D, I, P, an extra character null is added, and the other location, for example in this case the last 3 locations remain unused. Now let us see using a program how we can deal with this kind of string. So look at this character str10. So str is a character array having 10 elements, and the individual elements are I and D, I, A, India. So there are 5 characters. So str0 is I, str1 is N, str2 is D, str3 is I, and str4 is A. And after India, an extra character is automatically added, which is null /0, and rest of these location are unused. So if I run a loop I equal to 0, I less than 5. So I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, and I equal to 4. And if I print stri means str0, str0 is I. So I is printed with %c. %c is for character. So str0, str1, str2, str3, str4. So I, N, D, I, A. And because of this slash n, all these characters will be printed in a different line. So it would something look like this: I, N, D, I, A, I, N, D, I, A. And after this loop, once this loop is over, then we are printing the entire array str without specifying the square bracket. So when we do not specify the square bracket, it represents the entire string, entire character array, and that is printed using %s. So now you can see the difference. If individual characters, if individual elements are to be printed, we use %c, I, N, D, I, A. But when we deal with entire string India, then we use %s. So when I print %s str, it will give me complete string India. So this is the difference. These are nothing but individual characters printed using %c, and this is nothing but entire string printed with %s. And we deal with, when we deal with characters, we specify the location stri, str0, 1, 2. But when we deal with string, we do not specify location because we are dealing with entire string. Now let us see how we can print India in different way. So second way is to use the null character. So in this case, we already know in advance that there are 5 characters. So we run a loop from 0 to 5. But when we do not know in advance how many characters are there, then in that case, we use this terminating condition /0. So until you get /0, keep on repeating this loop. So it is something like this. We start with a counter I, stri is not equal to 0, while stri is not equal to null. So stri, I equal to 0. So str0 is I, then N, then D, then I, and A. So once this India is over, then when I becomes 5, str5 is null. So when I becomes 5, str5, null is not equal to null. So it will be false and it will come out. But by the time it would have printed str0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So India has already been printed, and then after that again I am printing with %s. So India will be printed. So I'll be getting the same output. The another way of doing it, we have a built-in function called string length. Now strlen is string length. In bracket we specify the variable name. So strlen str. So I, N, D, I, A. There are 5 characters. So this will result into 5. So this loop becomes I equal to 0, I less than 5. But for using strlen function, we need to include a header file called string.h. This is something that you need to remember. For some built-in function, the header files are to be included. So strlen, there are many other functions that we'll see later. So for these functions to be used in our program, we need to include corresponding header files. So this is different way. This is another way to print all the characters one by one. So again, this program would result into the same output. So these are 3 different ways to deal with the characters of an array. Now let us take an example of finding out length of a given string. In previous case, we have seen that strlen would give you directly the length of the string. But what if you want to make your own program to find out the length of a string? So this is a very small program. So we have, let's say, length equal to 0 as a counter, the variable, and character str20 having I love India. So it would be looking like str0 to str19. So it's not 20, it should be 19 only. So str0 to 19 and I space is also a character. Over here I is character, space is also a character. LOVE again space INDIA. So starting from 0 to A, there are total 12 characters. So 0 to 11. And the 13th character in the location 12 is nothing but null. So this is something what we know. So just keep on repeating this loop while strlen is not equal to null. So len is equal to 0. So string length 0 is equal to I, then increment, then increment, then increment, then increment, keep on incrementing. When I becomes 12, when length becomes 12, str12 is not equal to null. So this will be false. So str12 is null. So null is not equal to null. So this is false. So it will come out. And at that time, the value of len would be 12. So it would print length equal to 12. And the rest of these elements in the array would remain unused. So instead of initializing a string like this, we can read even from keyboard. Now there are two ways to read. First option is you can have scanf %s str. Now one thing you need to remember over here is, so far we have seen ampersand in case of in case of scanf. But when you read a string, you do not specify ampersand. I repeat, when you read a string, you do not specify ampersand. In case of integer, in case of float, or even in case of character. When we read integer, character, or float, we specify ampersand, but in case of string, we do not specify ampersand. This is something that you need to remember. We'll be exploring why in our pointer chapter. But the limitation with this %s is you can only read one word. You cannot have multiple words. For example, I love India. This string is having 3 words. I, then space, the second word is love, space, India. So it would only read one word. So that this is an issue with %s. So what if you want to read entire line? So for that, other option is either you can use scanf % in square bracket /n. Means unless you press enter, you can keep on reading. Or other option is getters str. This is something which is very easy to use. So in both these cases, you can read entire string including spaces. So in this case, you can read I love India. So this is option 2. So if you want to read single word, you use %s, and if you want to use entire string with multiple spaces, then we use scanf %n or getters str. These are the two different ways to read string from keyboard. Now second example is count the total words in a sentence. Now words are nothing but, for example, let us start with this output. Enter a string, hello, how are you? Now we can see that there are 4 words. Alright. Now how do we find? Because there are 3 spaces. So total number of spaces, 1 space is between hello and how, second space is between how and are, and third space is between are and you. So the total number of words equal to space plus 1. So 3 spaces plus 1. So word will be 4. So for that we use a count 1. Because why do I start from count 1? Because at least there will be one word in the input. So we start with 1, and the moment we encounter a space, we'll be incrementing the counter. So length equal to 0, because we want to display the length of the string also. We have taken this len. This is for the total length. HELLO, how are you? So total is 17, including all the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 characters and 3 space plus 1, 4 words. So count is for word and length for characters. Then we are declaring the string str20, and then we are asking the user. As we have seen, there are 2 ways. Either you can use %n or you can use getters. Any one of this would work. And then let us start running the same logic. While string length is not equal to null, len starts from 0. So str0 is not null, 1 is not null, 2 is not null, 3 is not null. So keep on doing until on 17 you'll encounter null. But by the time if we find out any space, then and only then I'll be incrementing count plus plus. So I'll be encountering 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. So this count plus plus will be incremented 3 times. So it was already 1. So incremented first time 2, incremented second time 3, and incremented third time count will be 4. And every time length is incremented by 1. So when I print count it will be 4, and when I print length it will be 17. So this is how we can find out length of a string as well as total number of words in a given string. Now one more example to count vowels. Now we know that A, E, I, O, U are the different vowels. So over here output is something like this. Enter a string, then we enter hello, how are you? Then we can see that E, O, O, A, E, O, U. There are total 7 vowels. Now how do we check them? So for that, let's have a simple character string, the length and count. Count is nothing but we'll be counting the total vowels. Then first we ask the user to enter string. So that string is entered, and the same logic is used while string length is not equal to null. And because it could be either in uppercase or lowercase, we can have small e or capital E. In both the cases, the counter should be incremented by 1. So what do? We change the case. Now strlen, that's a character, that is converted to 2 upper. 2 upper means if it is small h, it will be converted into capital H. If it is small e, it will be converted to capital E. And that is assigned into C. So now only thing, I don't need to deal with both the cases, upper and lower, because upper cases are converted to, lower cases are converted to upper. So then I'll be just dealing with capital A, E, I, O, U only. So if it is uppercase, it will remain upper. If it is lowercase, it will be converted to upper. So if the character is A or E or I or O or U, if any one of these is true, in that case I'll be incrementing the counter. Right. And once this loop is done, once 17 characters are checked, once this A, E, I, O, U are checked and counter is incremented, in the outside of this loop we will be printing count. And one thing you need to remember is to use this 2 upper built-in function, you need to include a header file called ctype.h. So this will give me 7 as output, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vowels in the string. Now one more example, count the occurrence of a particular character in a given string. That means a string is given, a character is given. So find out the character in the given string. So let me show you the output first. So enter a string, let's say hello, how are you? And this is occurrence, means if I want to find out a specific character, how many times it is occurring in the string. So if it is H, how many times H is occurring? So H occurs 2 times. H, H. So I am comparing over here H. You can have any character over here, or you can even read this character from keyboard and check. Now for the sake of simplicity I have taken H, but you can take any character. So again the logic is simple. We are reading a string using either %caret/n or getS. And then for I equal to 0, I less than strlen. There are 2 ways we have seen. Either we can use a loop while that str of I is not equal to null, or I can use built-in function string length. But if I am using string length, I need to include this header file string.h. So hello, how are you? We already know that there are 17 characters. So this loop will be repeated 17 times. And every time I am comparing if the string stri, str0, str1, str2, str3, str4. So all this character one by one. If the character is equal to h, in that case only I'll be incrementing count. So there are 2h. So this count will be incremented 2 times. It was initially set to 0 and incremented 2 times. So count will be 2. and when I come out of this loop, it will print H occurs count times. Count is 2. So H occurs 2 times. So output would be H occurs 2 times. Now replacing a character by another character. So output is something like this. Enter string. Let's say hello, how are you is my input. Let's say what character you want to change. I want to replace O. So the O is to be replaced by X. So these are the two characters that I'll be entering, that I want to replace O by X. So all O will be replaced by X. So hello, how are you would look like HELLX, HXWARE and YXU. All O are replaced by X. This is something that I want to do. So program is again very simple. I'm reading string. Okay, then I'm asking to enter the old character ampersand C. So this is my O. So C is holding O and new character R. R holds X. So first thing is check for that. So while strlen of is not equal to null, first I'll check strlen is equal to C, means is equal to O. If it is the case, I'll be simply putting R into it. If it is C, I'll be putting R. So compare this character in the string with this C, and if it is the same, then I'll be putting R. Otherwise just keep on repeating, and once this thing is over, I'll be printing the resultant string on the monitor. So this is something, what do we get? H hello, how are you, and all this O will be replaced by X. And one more example is reversing a string. So for example, hello is given, so reverse will be HELLO, would be OLLEH. So this is the logic. This is my original string hello, and this S1 holds the original string and S2 holds the reverse string. So in S2 I'll be having this H will be copied here, this E will be copied here, I will be copied here, this I will be copied here, and this O will be copied here. So for S1 I'll be using variable I starting from 0, and for S2 I'll be using variable J starting from the last location -1, and then I'll be putting S1 of I into S2 of J. Then I will be incremented and J will be decremented. So S1 of I will be put in S2 of J. Then again I will be incremented and J will be decremented. So this will be copied here, this will be copied here, this will be copied here, and at the end this null will be explicitly copied over here. So this is something I'll be doing. So I have two string S1 and S2. First I am asking user to enter S1, then a length is set to 0. So first I am finding the length, S1 of length not equal to length plus plus, or you can use strlen also if you want to use built-in function. So once the length is found, the next step is to write a logic for this. So I starts from 0. So I starts from 0 and J starts from length -1. So J starts from length -1. And keep on doing till I is less than length. Keep on doing till I is less than nth. And increment I and decrement J. So I plus plus and J minus minus. And put S of I into S of J. S of I is put into S of J. Then increment I and then decrement J. Just keep on doing this. And at the end, I'll be explicitly putting this null character. S2 of length. S2 of length is this one. I'll be putting null over here. And then I am printing reverse equal to %s. So this OLLEH would be printed over here. And one more example is there, concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but appending. So there are two different strings already given. Let's say hello and world, and I want to append these two strings. So hello world, this would be my result. So how would I do that? So I already have S1 equal to HELLO and S2 equal to world. So this S2 character, the one by one character from S2 will be placed here. So I will be starting from length of S1 and J will be starting from 0. So I will be starting, so you can see that first what we are doing is, first I am reading S1, then I am reading S2, then I am finding length 1 and length 2. So length 1 is this, length 2 is this. And then once the lengths are found, then J starts from 0. J starts from 0 and I starts from length 1. I starts from length 1. In both these cases, I and J are incremented. So I and J are incremented. This is a small mistake. Over here it should be plus plus. So I and J both are incremented. Till what point? Till J is less than or equal to length, because I want this null also to be copied here. So that's why I have used less than or equal to. So all these characters along with this null. And what am I doing is S2 of J is copied into S1 of I. So S2 of J is copied into S1 of I. So just keep on doing. W will be copied first, then O, then R, then L, then D, then null. All these characters will be copied and then the result is there in S1. So I am again printing resultant string equal to S1. So S1 would be hello world. So this is nothing but concatenation or appending two different strings. There are some built-in string functions. So string copy, string concatenation, string length. We have already seen this to find out the length of the string, total number of characters in the string, and string compare. For all these functions to be used, you need to include one header file, string.h. So now this is a small program demonstrating how you can use these different functions. So for that we have taken three strings, S1, S2, S3. In S1 I have hello, in S2 I have India, and in S3 it is null, means I don't have anything in S3, it is empty. So first thing is use this strlen function. So strlen of S1, so string length of S1, so S1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So length of S1 would be 5. So length of S1 would be 5. Then what I am doing, string copy S3 comma S1. So this string copy function copies this string into this string. So S1 is copied into S3. Initially I don't have anything in S3. I have hello in S1. So when I run this function string copy, S1 will be copied into S3. So S1 is copied into S3. So S3 is now also hello. So when I print S3, it will print S3 equal to hello. So this S3 equal to hello will be printed here. Then when I compare strcmp S1 comma S2, now S1 and S2, in S1 hello, in S2 India. So S1 and S2 are not same. So in that case it will not result into 0. It will come to else and it will print S1 and S2 are not equal. So S1 and S2 are not equal. And then strcat S1 comma S2. strcat is string concatenation. So S2 will be added after S1 content. So S1 is hello, S2 is India. So when I use this one, this India would be added after S1. So S1 now becomes hello India and S2 would remain same India. So if I print S1, you will get hello India. If I print S1, you will get hello India. So this is how you can use this basic built-in function. Again, let me remind you, to use these functions, you need to include a header file string.h. So with this, we conclude this chapter on arrays and string. We had three different videos. The first video was on single dimensional array, second video was on multi-dimensional array, and this third video was on string, a character array. I hope you have now the fundamentals of array very clear. In next video, we'll be taking the chapter function. Hope to see you in the next video. Until then, enjoy C programming.